Hey guys, so this is my Durkopp CL14 vintage Treadle domestic sewing machine. It's a class 15 machine, meaning you use a class 15 bobbin with a vertical oscillating hook. This is a Treadle version actually in its own table. And I thought I'd do a video. There's practically no information out there on these. So I thought I would share mine and help a few people out who may run across one and who may have some questions. So let me give you an overview shot of the machine in the actual Treadle base. This is probably one of my most favorite Treadle bases. This is my first Treadle machine that I've actually ever owned. I've considered them a lot, but I never really took the plunge because I didn't see the practicality in them, and for what I do. But the tables to me have always just been really ugly and just a little bit too overdone. But this is the first one that I really actually like. You can see it's pretty subtle. It's not over the top in like the drawers. It's just got two drawers, one on each side, made of hardwood. They have this. They all have lock and key. Simple front. Another drawer here. The side's really cool. The leg says Durkopp across the side, and the top has an inlay here of. This is actually measuring tape, so 10 centimeters, 20, 30, 40, up to 50. The veneer was coming off in some places, so I just went ahead and scored it to make a clean break and remove it. I don't know if I'm going to reapply veneer on this. I haven't decided yet what direction I want to go. I was considering actually just remaking the entire table out of walnut, the whole tabletop, the drawers and everything, but I haven't committed to that. But yes, let me show you how the machine works. The table is unique too in that, okay, so here's the Treadle belt, and what makes this a CL model is this guard here. So you'll see this sometimes without the guard and it'll say 14. So that's the difference. You want to pull the belt off, always just roll the Treadle belt off when you're going to tilt the machine. This one has a locking nut here that keeps the machine in this base, so you can't tilt it back, and then you would break your belt. So if you're tilting it back, you can see here, it looks really similar to like basically the Singer Class 15 or Model 15. So the 1530s, the 1590s, any of the Singer Class 15 machines. It's got your main drive shaft here. You can see I'm going to rotate the hand wheel. You can see how smooth, and the machine is so smooth. It was a little bit tight when I got it, but I just really spent a lot of time freeing it up, and it works really well. Now for the bobbin case, I didn't have the original bobbin case, and I didn't know what I was going to do about it. I ended up testing a bunch of different bobbin cases that I had, and if you get one of these class 15 bobbin cases that are made for a zigzag machine, not a straight stitch. And there are two versions of class 15. You'll look at this little arm here. Actually, let me lower this. You look at this little arm here. When you hold the machine up, or the bobbin case up, you'll have this arm. It either angles at 1 o'clock or it angles at 11 o'clock. So it angles the other way. So it either angles clockwise, which this is called the 1 o'clock bobbin, or it angles counterclockwise, which is called an 11 o'clock bobbin. So you need to know that there's a difference. The one that you want is a class 15 bobbin case, 1 o'clock finger, this is called, for a zigzag, front-loading zigzag machine. So you see that this hole there is wider to accommodate a zigzag. And then that will fit in the machine. So it took a little bit of experimenting, and then to get it to fit, I had to bend this arm down towards the front. So if you find one of these without a bobbin case, you still can use the machine. You just have to do that. So the machine actually uses a 705 needle, which it shows it on the needle plate, and a lot of them do. And that is the standard sewing machine needle size used today. So now it's called the 705H, and that H refers to the scarf that's in the back, but at the time that these were being produced, there was no scarf in the needle yet. So let me drop that back in, tighten that down, and then you'll look on these Treadle bases. This one has a little hook here. Let me, oh, I got the wheel tangled up around okay, so you're going to rotate the hand wheel around, or the drive wheel here, and you see this little hook So there's a little latch, little hook here, and this is actually to help you guide the belt on. So it's supposed to be sprung, it should be under spring load. You basically have it pinch the belt, and you rotate the belt around, and you'll see that that will catch the belt and hold it as it rotates around. And now the belt's on and it's active. But you need this one, depending, it should spring back. If it doesn't, you just give it a little push and it goes back in place. Now for treadling, there's actually a few ways to treadle. Sometimes you can use 2 feet and rock back and forth. Some people do that. Some people will put a foot in the corner, in the 2 corners, and then alternate pushing them. You can go pretty quickly like that, or you can just use a single foot and just kind of rock it. And you pivot from your ankle and just go. And you can see that you can get a decent speed there. So that's the general principle. The thing with this is you have to make sure that it's rotating in the correct direction. You always want the wheel rotating towards you. So it'll take a little bit of practice, but once you get it going, you get it going by kind of rotating it in the direction you need to go and then start pedaling. And eventually you'll get to the point where you'll know where the position is, your foot position, and you'll just be able to start going again without having to worry about going in reverse. It just takes a little bit of practice, but I mean, it's quick to learn. But this machine too, I think it was made in the 30s. I don't know exactly. It has forward and reverse, which you're not going to find in a lot of like really old machines. Even some like the Singer that didn't start offering reverse until later models. So this one did, which was a big plus. It's got a bobbin winder, adjustable stitch length, and then it has the tension mechanism on the front. And this one actually basically threads the exact same way that any other machine that has a tension assembly on the nose threads. So you just come across the top, down through the guide, behind the discs, up around this guide bar, down through the check spring, through your take-up lever, through your guide, through the needle guide, or the needle bar guide. And then this machine threads basically like every other one from left to right. Every other oscillating hook machine where the hook's on the right side. And then that's there, and then you just rotate it around to capture the tail. Now you don't want to pull too hard on that tail when you're going to capture it, because you won't form a loop. Sorry, I went to go grab a razor blade so I can cut the thread. Anyway, so it's threaded up. I thought I'd just show you how it sews and how quiet it is. These things are pretty cool. You can see how ornate the machines are. It's just the bed on this is just phenomenal. Very little wear. You can see the Durkopp logo there, and just super ornate all the way around the machine. The nose plate is just polished, very clean, and then it's got the spoked hand wheel. You can see there, and it's just the polish. It's just so clean. I had to replace the tire. The original tire is here. This one's a little bit small, but you just push your finger up and then it winds the bobbin pretty easily. So I just grabbed a scrap of fabric, and let's just get it going so you can see how it goes. So rotate with you're going to grab it with your hand, rotate it, and then just start. And you can see you have quite a bit of control. Like I can slow it down, may increase the stitch length a little bit. But you can go slow, and this is really effortless. For this speed, you can see my foot rocking. Very slow. I mean, it's not a lot of effort, and then you can just stop, get going again. But you can also really get it going. I'm in my garage right now, so it's not really that level. So you can see the table moves a little bit, but then you can stop and then get it going again. You can go slower, faster, speed it up. And this is about as fast as you'd want to go comfortably on this, using one foot. If you use two, you can go a little bit faster, but And you can just stop it with your hand. But yeah, it's phenomenal. And then the forward, and then reverse, forward. And you can see that the forward and reverse is matched up pretty well. I'll double it up, so this is a few more layers. And you'd be surprised about the penetrating power that these things have. So this is 2, I'll go to 4, and go to 6. I don't really have that much material to work with. This will go through 6 layers of this cotton, no problem at all. And you can go to reverse, back over it. Just the way that it's geared, it has a really large wheel here and pretty small one there. So it's just the way that the gearing is set up on this, it doesn't require a lot of power really to get this thing to go. And the stitches on them, like you'd expect, are really good. So you can see there, so all the stitches look good. And then it does have adjustable presser foot tension up here, so if you want to increase or decrease the presser foot tension, you do that with that knob. And yeah, I mean, that's it. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It does have the it does have a hinged presser foot, sorry, so that helps ride up over mounds of material a lot easier. And it uses a low shank foot, so any modern foot you can use on the machine. It uses modern needles, so any modern needle that you would find at like a Joann's or any other sewing supply you can find easily. And it has these aggressive feed dogs, and it actually has an additional row of feed dogs over most straight stitch machines. Most straight stitch machines like Singer's you'll see, or Pfaff's, they'll have this long row on the left and then a row right behind. This actually has an additional row up front. And they have these kind of a little bit more aggressive feed dogs, which really feed the material really well. This one came with two needle plates. So it has this needle plate here, which is sized for smaller needles, and then the larger needle plate in there, which I have. So if you're working with really delicate, fine material, you would use this smaller needle plate because it has a smaller hole, so you don't have to worry about material being pulled down in there. Wow. Overall, the thing sews really well. I really like it. It's really a cool machine. Now, to put it away in the table, let me show you. This is a unique table too in how it goes. So there's storage on the left side of the table for the top, actually. So to put the machine away, this is super fast. This is another reason why this screws here, is to keep the machine in place when you go to put it back. So what you're gonna do is roll off the leather belt, take the thread out. You lift the machine towards you, lift this back panel up. The machine will drop down in here. Just load that panel, and then take the top, and then that's it. And now the machine's nested inside. And it's really comes out really quickly too. You just go under here to push this up and take the lid off. Now it is keyed on the top also here, and the drawer, so you can lock it. I don't have the lock, but I'm thinking, or the key, but I'm thinking about making something. It's not a terribly complex locking mechanism, so I might make something for it. And then to take it off, pop the lid off. There's a little hanger on the side here to hang that panel. Put it back, and then back, and then you're ready to go. And you put the belt back on, and you're good to go. You need to keep in mind though on these machines that they do not use the bed size is different than standard machines. So you can't buy a Durkopp like this and drop this machine into a standard Singer table. The dimensions are different, and the hinges, the locations of the hinges are different. So you can't just buy this machine. I saw one being sold on eBay, and I wanted to say something to the seller, but what am I going to say? Like, update the listing to let people know. But you need to know, if you bought that machine, or if you buy one standalone, you're going to have to make a custom table unless you have access to one of the originals, Durkopp tables, because it won't fit. Now the other thing I thought about doing was remaking this center section that this machine sits in, and making a few of these with different cutouts. And I thought about making a cutout for Wilcox and Gibbs, and then using this on the Wilcox and Gibbs, and then just removing the leather belt and swap every time I swap the machines. But it's a little bit impractical, I think. Just, you know, a busy project, so I'm not going to do it. But yeah, so there it is. That's a Durkopp CO Model 14. It's phenomenal straight stitch vintage German made domestic treadle. I didn't think I'd like the treadle as much as I do, but it's pretty great. So you don't have to worry about electricity, and if there's something just, I don't know, there's something about it, just operating it with the pedal, and it's very soothing. It's different than working with just an industrial machine. It's a whole different feel. So I just thought I'd share for those of you guys that may be interested and may run across one. So good luck. Thanks.